Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Catch That, where we dig deep into R&B history, albums, and just topics that about the culture, a culture that we love, and so that's why we do this show. How about that? And I am Naturally Elite, and that is my bro.
JR.
And we are the R&B representatives, and today we are happy to welcome back one of our favorite cousins,
Mm-hmm.
our Boston cousin, the Boston contingent, and that is Mr. Dart Adams. Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. I was like, how many times have I been on here and I never said that dumb shit? I'm gonna do it now.
First time of everything. Yes. So, I'm not gonna go into a whole spiel because you don't know Dark Adams by now. I don't know exactly what you're doing, especially if you've been watching us. So,
That part.
how about JR? How about you tell us what we're going to be talking about today, and
Mm.
and just tell a little bit about your experience with the album, and then we'll jump into things.
Okay, all right. All right. So, y'all, we will be discussing Eric Lau's New Territories. Now, this is going to be more of a learning thing for me because I got into this album because of Dart and Elise. So, once I got into it, I was like, oh, this album is fire. But obviously, I know it maybe a little background or whatever, but I'm going to also be a learner in this one. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely a good album, though, for real, for real. I wish I'd have followed Dart a while ago, so then I would have knew, you know what I'm saying? Because according to Elise, it was like he tweeted about this album a lot. So we're gonna really get into this album, y'all. It's gonna be a learning experience for me and for you as well. But so y'all, yes, how did you get into this album? What made you get into this album? I want to know. Like, how'd you get into this album with Eric?
I discovered Eric Lau on MySpace back between 2006 and 2007. Um, I was just hell bent on if I'm going to be on MySpace, I don't just want to be trying to holler at people or try to find somebody to be popular and all that stuff. I was like, if I'm going to be on here, I'm going to use the same things that I learned from music, digging for records, going to different places, discovering new music, because that's what the internet I felt was kind of for. It was a bunch of people who were kind of pushed out of their spaces because, as anybody from the Gen X knows, box stores started dying, independent record stores started closing, and the radio had changed drastically. So the music discovery had changed. So what did we have to do? We had to use the internet, the tools that are available to us to expand our horizons and use them in music discovery. So what I did was I went on blogs, message boards, and MySpace to find that music. It's just like getting my hands dirty, digging in the records, or turning on BET and watching something like Video Vibrations, where the Unseen VJ introduced us to a whole bunch of music from the UK. I decided we're all on the internet, everything's democratized. So I was discovering a lot of music from the UK. And one of the people I discovered at that time between 2006 2007, like I said before, was Eric Lau. So I stayed in touch with him. And when I started Poisonous Paragraphs in January 1st, 2007, I had to come up with things to like make people come to the site, come to the page. Like, what's different? What can you find here that you can't find everywhere else? So I had this thing called, I believe it was 32 producers you need to hear right now on MySpace. So I did, and I would post like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I would have 8. And on Friday, I had the whole list of 32. And that was when I first posted Eric Lau. So when his album came out in March 2008, he was like, "Yo, I got signed Ubiquity. I'm putting out an album." So he sent. I act like I ain't know. He sent me an advanced copy, and I wrote a review of it on was it What's New in Dark's iPod number 23, and that was what day was it? March 16th, 2008. So that's the whole backstory of how I like even knew who Eric Lau was, or his production, or his music.
Well, I found out about Eric Lau from the various social media, but what put me on to pretty much everything that I listened to from that point on is your Tumblr with the poisonous paragraphs. And when I tell you I was the loyalist reader, commenter, like I was on it, and like you didn't let me down. So I was like, hey, if you say it's hot or at least worth checking out, it is worth checking out. So that's how I got into that world.
Yeah, I had probably 10 to 12 commenters throughout the whole life of the blog, and Elise was one of them. And the other ones, it was funny because everybody who commented was either usually bloggers or musicians that would come through. So it was interesting to see like that, the whole life of that blog, the 3 years that I had it up, and like how many people it affected. So yeah, it's very interesting.
I just knew from after, listening to the album and doing a little research on him, I just love that. Well, it sucks that how it went down, I think his friend committed suicide, if I'm not mistaken. And that's how he really got into the passion of music anyway, because he was from Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken, and moved to London or something like that. And then, he went to college and his close friend committed suicide. And that's how he just put all his passion into music. I was like, okay, that's when it's like really real, even though it's a horrible experience that happened to him, but he put his all into it. And dude his production is nuts. Woo, Lord, I can't wait till we get to some of these songs. Cause I was like, where the hell was I? I'm late, but the better late than never. But still, I was like, yo, this is crazy. That's why I was like hitting Elise every time I was going through it. I was like, sis, what is this? Like, like, what is this? And she was like, keep going. It ain't done. And she was like, it's only 40 minutes. So she was like, you'll be fine. And woo,
Yes.
And so when I was ready for the other we supposed to do, I was ready, like, okay, let's do this, even though I'm gonna still learn from y'all anyway. But I was like, yo, this production is nuts and it's so smooth, man. So yeah, he's dope. He's dope.
Yeah, so we jump into this album properly.
Yes.
Welcome. Yeah. And
yes,
it is such a great intro track because it feels like you walking into an enchanted forest, and it's like it's real foggy and it's like very undersaturated lighting, and then some woodland animals come out because the flutes come in. So a bird
the
flutes, yes.
At least the flutes go.
Like,
and it's like the Dave Chappelle. Yeah, but the thing about this is that it's melodic, it's very vibey, but the bass, doom, doom, doom. Then there's that kick, smack, doom, doom. Like there's all that, and I always think of Eric Lau's New Territories album. It's a book, right? So the intro is that front cover of the book when you open it, right? And that feeling you get from the paper and the cover and the binding and the smell when you're going through, like, who made this? When was it made? Who is it dedicated to? All these things before you even get to start reading, before you get to the chapter 1, right? And
it's like the prologue.
Yes. And it lets you know this is what this is what you in for. This is what you're getting into.
Yes.
And that's what I love about the welcome, right? Like doom, doom, doom. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be some music. And also I immediately think about June 1989, when my brother brought home Soul to Souls. In the UK, it was called Club Classics Volume 1, but over here it was called Keep On Moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when he put that tape in, and we were like, what is this? And I need to keep in mind that at this time, UK music, especially the R&B scene, had already, been bubbling up and stuff like that. And there were a bunch of people on the landscape. Like Young Turks was out at the time. XL Records was popping off. And so we're coming out the era of Subtract. We're coming out the era of Yip Sampha, when he brings along Jessie Ware and Quay and like all those cats. but this was something different. It wasn't on like Brownswood Bubblers, like Giles Peterson of Brownswood was one of the people that was also advocating for Eric Lau at the time. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm on this. And this intro seamlessly leads into that opening song.
I don't do it to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, when maybe just me, because it's gonna be like a lot of things that I'm familiar with that it kind of made me think of. So when the intro first came, the welcome comes in, like that first 18 seconds, right? Like y'all said, the flutes and the harp come in, and it's like welcoming you to new territory. It's like, hi, you've entered the new arena. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like to me. So I was like, and you know what I started to think about when I started to think about, as weird as it was, on how Q-Tip's what was it? Wait Up or for Amplified, and how it kind of brings you into some new shit. And you like, what the hell is going on? But I'm interested. Like, where we going with this? Like that. And then as soon as you said that beat just comes in, it's just like, oh, okay. All right. We there. You there. But damn, dog, how you said opening a book and the way you described that shit, that was, I shouldn't even said my shit afterwards, because the way you said that shit, I was like,
you sound like you might be an author or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay, like he an author or something. Yes. Like he got, like, you know what I'm saying, best-selling books and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that'd be crazy if I did too. That'd be crazy if I went to a bookstore and open up a book, see my name in it. That's crazy.
Right.
Crazy. Y'all talking crazy. Y'all talking crazy.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't
do it. I knew she was gonna do it.
Just
right, I knew she was gonna do it, dog.
Just saying.
You opened the lane for her. You see,
you know.
I know.
No big deal.
I know you got albums behind you, but you know, to come out with a book, that's crazy.
Oh God.
What's even crazy is the book's name has changed since you know, incidents that happened. So now they're highlighting that he's a Palestinian refugee, which they should have done in the beginning, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't do it to hurt you, spice you, like
you. That's all right.
Like the lyrics, you can relate to immediately. The vocals are like light and airy. The backgrounds, bananas. That when she comes into the vocals, then the beat drops. Like, and there's a bounciness, there's a playfulness, but there's also this is a very serious thing, like laying out. This song for you, and they say, I'll do this too, not you. And like all that, but you're following along with everything that she's saying, because you're understanding, like, look, shit went left with us, but it was not done maliciously. You know, I came into this thing fully feeling like, oh, we're gonna have this thing kick off. Hey, like a acting like a dude, and you're like, yo, she's explaining all the ways she fucked up in a relationship, but the way it's being delivered, you don't take it like you're gonna be mad. And I thought that was brilliant in the song's construction and delivery.
Yeah.
Like I was in the wrong. I can count on one hand all the times a woman has told me that they were in the wrong in a relationship or a situation, and I was just there like, wow, this is crazy that you're actually admitting to this. But at the same time, I'm pissed off because I feel like my time was wasted. But in this song context, I'm like, oh, you know, shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We thought this could be something, but you know what? Hey, let's just go our separate ways. We could remain friends. Like, that is the ill part of this song.
Yeah.
After the song ends, that's how you feel.
Yeah. Yep. But this song puts me in the mind of lyrically it puts me in the mind of Jill Scott, 42nd Street, had the same
42nd Street.
iconic
Yep.
thing where
Yep.
it's like, I did you dirty. I did you dirty, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get mad at somebody saying, I did you dirty, boy.
Hey,
You did?
hey, you
Oh,
did.
damn. Oh, I hate that happen, you know?
That
Like,
was the first thing that I thought when I learned this. So I was like, this is Jill, 42nd Street. Like, what? Because it was like, she's admitting that she did wrong. Like, and she does it so melodically, you're not really paying attention to it. You like, oh, it sounds really good. But she like, nah, I fucked up. It's
yeah,
me.
she like, just because you love and lost don't mean stop loving, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
It's a
bad.
nightmare.
That was
Ain't
on me.
Dreaming. Stop dreaming, baby.
I did that. That's my bad. That's on me. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Oh God, but she sounds so good singing it though. I ain't gonna lie. Like I was
Right.
like,
Mhm.
oh, she's admitting this shit. Oh, she taking forward. And like Dawn said, it's like, oh, we could be friends, but nah,
Shit still
I
happened.
fucked up though.
Hey,
But
Like, damn. But she sound good doing it, so shit, I ain't mad at it.
yeah, the beauty of this song too is that like the thing about this album is that it just blends, right? And
Yes.
it's funny because when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this is crazy. I didn't realize how it was going to get later on. But when you get into right side, and it's also the other thing, it's Eric Lau can switch out vocalists and it doesn't completely, it's not jarring, you know? And it's a
Right.
similar thing to like Soul to Soul. We have this landscape. This is what we're gonna do. These are the vibes we're going for, and we could just plug anybody in here and just have them do what they do. Lyrics, vocal delivery, all that, and everybody gets to shine. And that's the beauty of it. So when we get to right side, and also another thing is, yes, this album is 40 minutes long. So these songs are short.
Mhm.
So you get to miss them when they end. Like, oh, we into something else already? I was
Right.
fuck love that shit. So
Right.
right side is another, it's like
yeah.
it's I think of when Karen Wheeler used to switch off between Doreen and Rose Windross, right? In this album. But when Serena Leia sings this song, I'm like, oh, this is a change of pace, but they have that same airy quality, that same bouncy quality, that same playful vocal delivery that goes in and out. And then I can go straight forward. And the thing is that the vocals are crazy, but the backgrounds are nuts.
Yeah.
And then you listen to the backgrounds and you notice that there's extra shit happening with the beat, the layers.
Yeah, and that syncopated rhythm, and to be able, vocally, to be able to still ride that offbeat, you know, it's like that takes some skill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the way the vocals are delivered, it's make sure that you're paying attention to what's being said. Because one of the things I always explain to people is that when Michael Jackson or Quincy Jones or Rod Temperton made songs, that they went for melody first. So Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, they went on it was da, 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 da. So to have that idea that Serena's singing this song, like it started out like da, 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 like, holy shit. And to fill that in, you pay a lot of attention to the vocals and what's being said. And it's subconscious because these lyrics stick with me. And the way they're being sung, new direction, got you stepping, like the right side. Then the beat. Like this shit is crazy. And all these joints are short. And the thing is that the weird thing about right side, it bounces into the next song so effortlessly that you gotta stop yourself to realize it's a new song.
Like on some Dilla Donut type of thing. Like, you be like, what the hell? Like, you like, we on the next joint. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I was doing with this. I was like, when Right Side was on, I was like, wait a minute, it's done? We on another song? Like, what the hell? Like, I was like, nah, go back. I want to listen to this again.
Yes.
like, and she riding the shit out of this beat though. Like, whew, just flawless. I was just like, yo, and it was so short because it went right, like you said, right into Confession Lounge. It was like, wait, no, it's not over yet. Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. And it's wild when the offbeat, you don't even hear it no more. It's like, no, it's on beat. And then you realize, no, it's still about a half a step behind. And,
Yes.
But you don't know. You notice, but you don't notice at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Now imagine being me. Y'all, imagine being me. Listen to this for the first time on an iPod Nano. Okay? On an iPod Nano. With over-the-ear headphones. Over-the-ear headphones. And I'm listening to this like, is this another song already? And the beat. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, is this another vocalist? And on my iPod Nano, I was very meticulous about writing the feature. So I see Taria, Serena Leia, Rahel. I'm like, this is a different woman? And they all have the similar qualities to the vocals, but their voices are different. But they catch this bounciness and this playfulness with the rhythm. They ride it. They're stacking the vocals. The vocals are crazy. They're going all over the place, but also their backgrounds are on point. And Eric Lau just like gave them the runway, and it was like, the runway in that Fast and Furious movie, the long ass runway. Like, he gives them a long runway to do what they want to and bounce it any way they want to and create however they want to. And he's just like, go ahead, do whatever you want to, be free. But these songs are short. So you're like, how did you pack all that in 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes? Confession Lounge is nuts. It's 3 different vocalists. They are the sonics are perfect for each. They're able to just hit all the right notes and go all these different places in each song in a different manner. Oh, she's back. Don't have to put me down. Don't have to cut me out. I don't need, I do
I'm gonna do a JR though, real quick.
All right.
At about the 55-second mark, when
the
beat feels all the way in and all that, I don't know, is going on in the back, and the background singers are just losing it, and it's
yes. Absolutely.
This is a great 2-step record for me. Like, and she like, lyrically, she going in on dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought it was me because I was like, wait a minute, is she really like going in on this cat? Like, but she, again, like we said before, on what you call it? What was the second track?
It too.
I do, yes. She going in, but it's so smooth. Like, this song, the way she's going in on this, I'm like I'm sitting there rocking, because mind you, I'm at work listening to this. So I'm sitting there like this. I said, wait a minute. I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. She airing this dude out, like, for real. But she's just so melodic with it and so smooth with it. I was like, well, goddamn, is they getting on here and going in on these dudes? Like,
what's wild is
it's at the Confession Lounge. I mean, if you're gonna tell it, you
gotta tell it all. True.
My Confession Lounge. I'm like, and then the end. My Confession Lounge, have you cornered? And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, have him what? Him what? Oh, shit. Oh, this whole song is sitting somebody down and telling them all about themselves in a funky ass, melodic ass, playful ass way. Like, this was an evisceration. but you like this.
Right. I'm
doing
like in it. And I'm like
doing this shit.
All right, TLC.
right.
You should not be body rolling when somebody telling you about yourself. Should you?
Hey, a little sugar
No.
help the medicine go down, you know?
Yes, I guess.
I'll take that.
Girl, I guess.
Yo. Oh man. Yeah, that joint sick. Sick right
So
here.
this is what's interesting to me. This is one of my all-time favorite albums from the Zeros. Is anybody who I sold so many copies of this motherfucking album. I think the three international albums I sold the most of was probably in 3-1. Mabanua, Done Already, or whatever the album's called from Japan. That one. This one I put a lot of people on to. And then I think number one was the first Amy Winehouse album. I think the first Amy Winehouse album, Frank, I sold more copies of that than I did fucking the Unbach, getting people to buy it from Asia. But the interesting part about that, why I say all that, is that Final Chance is funny because Final Chance is my least favorite song on this entire album. But here's what's funny about that. The song is so fucking short. And it's a very interesting thing about the song because it's two vocalists. It's Rahel, who is, I pretty much say is the MVP of this album, and Meshack Brown, who will be back later, like in a Marvel movie. You will return later. This song is dope, but it's my least favorite song, but it's so short. And the crazy thing is that the last 40 seconds
oh my God.
Joint,
yes. Oh.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you why you're in this new territory for me. It does that. It's like, yo, like I was like, oh shit. Like I was just like, oh, I get it. I was like, okay, it's bringing me back to welcome to me. That's what it brought me back to. I was like, oh, Eric, you keeping us, you letting us know you're still here. I want to let you know we're still here. We got you. So yeah. Oh, I thought it would need 40 seconds. Yes. Talk about it, Mark. I'm sorry, go on.
I feel like this was a mind fuck because he was like, oh, I'm gonna hit you with these crazy songs with different vocalists. I'm gonna bring Rahel back out, this time with a dude. And they're gonna go back and forth. Let's go. And then the dude comes in, and then it's the phone, and then she goes, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's about no destination if you really want to want it. But I'm like, I'm not into this like I was the other song, right? I'm like, this is cool. At a later date. And before I can get to a point like, I'm not really into the fucking beat changes. And I'm like, Eric, you asshole. Eric, you an asshole. Because
he really is.
I don't get to a place where I'm like, I don't really like this. I'm not feeling this like the other joints. Because he's immediately like, oh, John, oh, dog. Oh, you crazy. You thought I was going to let this ride? Because I knew you were feeling, I knew how you were going to be emotionally coming off the other three songs and the welcome intro. So I'm going to bring you right back there. I'm going to fuck with your head and do this. And I'm like, you did this on purpose, Eric. You did this shit on purpose.
See,
son of a bitch.
With this song, it's your least favorite, and it's in my top. It's the most, it's the song, it's of every listen, it's the song that gets stuck in my head. And it's just in that, guitar situation, that and I just love that sound. So it like gets me.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites on it.
Interesting. Because I have a theory about this album. Again, I've been listening to this album for 16 years. I have a theory about this album. When Eric made it, he was thinking side A, side B. This is one of the things I always stress when I ran Producers I Know. I would sit down digitally or online, whatever, with the producers. I'd be like, this is what we're gonna do. when we make beat tapes, we're going to structure them like a side A and side B. So I want you to think opening song for side A, closing song for side A, what's the middle song for side A, and then fill in from there. Do that with everything. Opening song side B, last song side B. What are you going to leave this listener with? And then middle song side B, because it's going to be the bridge. And then you fill in from there. This is what Eric did here. Why? Because the album takes a sharp turn on a side B, side B type. With,
yes.
And then
yes.
side B finna punch you in the fucking face.
In your gut, yo.
Yes. Time will tell.
Also, this is a 3-song run that is nuts that we coming up on.
Ridiculous. But go ahead. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had to preface it.
Yeah.
Time will tell is a sharp turn from the fucking opening rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm like, what fucking forest am I walking through right now? And then, yes, and then Serena, who we saw who was with us on right side, emerges from the forest, the wilderness, and she goes, ah, ah. And Time Will Tell is one of the album highlights. It is, and this entire run for me, it's shades of, let me think, it's shades of Sweetback, Brand New Heavies, Young Disciples, Jamiroquai.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. And this is when I'm like, oh, Eric, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You crafted this perfectly. And I know the rest of this album is going to have me by the nape of my neck. Yep. It's going to have, you about to have everybody in a headlock. And she ain't even started the vocals yet, dog. I just heard, where there's sounds to be, sounds to be. And one of the albums, again, we've talked about that I love, one of the artists I love is this woman, Amel.
I knew he was going to say it. I was waiting.
I was just kind of waiting for it.
I was waiting for
with this song.
When I think about how songs are written, constructed, delivered, she is, of course, y'all damn near know, gold and platinum standard. If she got something out, I'm listening to it. And I'm in awe listening to this album because this dude has resurrected, he's managed to pinpoint all the things I love about R&B, all the landmark albums I love, which apparently he does too. And he's like, I'm going to give you all of this. And I'm going to give it to you in 40 minutes. Time will tell. And then the time will tell. Time will tell. And here's the fucked up part. Because when I start realizing, oh shit, this song is ending, I start feeling bad because I'm like, do you know that you ever had them times or those things that you're like, oh, I don't want this shit to end.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, with this album, I know, it's going to be crazy if the next joint I hear is as crazy as this, or if there's going to be a song later that I'm going to like better than this. So I'm just going to fucking let this ride out, even though I'm fighting every fiber of my being to not rewind this fucking song.
Yeah. I'm liking it to, I'm Big Rita. And when I get to about them last, about 50 to 75 pages, like I feel a way, I feel upset. A lot of times I'll stop and put it aside so I can just kind of stretch it a little longer. So it's that feeling.
Oh,
but just
yeah.
music.
Yeah, I was the way I was like, I know he's gonna bring up a meal. I know he's gonna bring up a meal. Like I felt like on this record, I was like, I felt her on this joint for real. Like it gave you the vibes of a meal on this. I was like, and it's like you riding in a car, like to me, like on a summer day, and you just jamming to this. It felt so good. And like you said, Dar, it was like I didn't want it to end because I'm like, he can't get no better than this.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Oh my
but
beer.
he said, now wait a minute.
Mhm.
He's like, you think? Oh, you thought I couldn't get no better than this? He said,
Mhm.
okay. And so that's why I said, I was like, wait a minute, I gotta play this again. This was the first song that I played over and over again because I did not want to stop. And I
Mhm.
was just like, oh, no, I hope the next one is just as good. And
Mhm.
maybe it was.
Yes.
Like,
So now we get to Don't Let Them. And Don't Let Them
oh,
is the midpoint. It's the midpoint of the album, right?
yes.
It's the absolute midpoint. It's like when you're watching a movie, the rising action, and then the conflict happens, and then everything goes from there. Towson Tell, one of the lone male voices on this album at the midpoint. But this is the opening song to side B. And after this song, there is a very prominent thematic switch, right? This album has been an emotional roller coaster, but it's been going here. And now this album is about to take us somewhere else for the rest of it. And he's trying to put us in that mindset and let us know, hey, this is where we're going to end. But this is where we're headed now. Because we already been through this part of the forest. We about to cross this bridge to the other part of the forest you haven't been to yet, bro. And ma'am and sis.
Switch.
And yeah, switch. And this album, I liken it to it's an emotional roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And when I listen to this album, there's one group in particular that I think has mastered this type of album and production and evoked this feeling in the listener. And I told them this. Now, the book that Elise held earlier, I got through that book by listening to an album, uh, uh, Balance and then Travel Light by Children of Zeus.
Yeah.
Without those albums, especially the second one, I don't finish that book. That book was an arduous undertaking. I went through hell with it. There were 25 different edits. I turned it in Christmas. Instead of being with my family, I turned in that fucking book and finished it. And when I think of Children of Zeus and how they construct albums, how they're able to get all this emotion and feeling in these songs and have them stick with you and the vocals and the layering, I think about Don't Let Them. This song talks about everything that's going on in the UK, in the streets, dealing with the police, their fucking their system of identification of people by races.
Yes.
IC1, IC2, IC3, IC4, IC5, locking down the dances, trying to stop the raves for the kids, R&B shows being policed, and all these things that are happening in London, a place which has so many closed circuit cameras and televisions, and it's one of the most surveilled places. They tried to ban hoodies in the UK at one point,
Yeah.
especially London, the different postcodes in London, E1, E2, E3, E4, E15, all that. So this song speaks to all of that, but it's a universal pain that we all deal with in wherever country we're in. And Don't Let Them is like, don't let them take your pride. Don't let them take
your
your,
smile.
your smile. Don't let them impose all this racism, all this hatred, all this bitter feeling in you because it's going to take away everything that makes you you. You still have to persevere. You still have to fight. And that shit
And those
hit
drums,
hard.
and those
Mm-hmm.
drums are that makes those drums so appropriate for that
Mm-hmm.
subject matter. Like, because
Yes.
them drums get you right from the
That
beginning.
aggression is what you needed. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like you needed that aggression. And that's why I was like, the aggression of those drums make you hear what it's saying, what they're saying lyrically. It's like you got to pay attention. You know what I mean? As aggressive musically it is. You know what I mean? And it was like at that 2 minute, like 40 second,
Mm-hmm.
2 minute and 40 seconds. For me, it's the vulnerability that hit because
Yes.
it changed and then it hits you. It's a vulnerability that hits you in this record. It was like, ooh, it was like all that, like it felt like the air kind of like sucked out of you. Like ooh, like this is deep, like this is thick, like this is really hitting. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's why I was like, come on, you come with time will tell, and then you did don't let them. Like you go to there and you hit me, you know what I'm saying, like this, and I'm a
Mhm.
feeler. Oh, I was like, Eric, you done fucked up. Like you done
Mhm.
fucked up now. Like, okay, I'm there. I'm with you. Even though I was there, but now you got me after you this song that I kept playing over and over because I was scared that it wasn't gonna be better than that. And I get to
Mhm.
this and you make me vulnerable. I said, Eric, you know what?
Gotcha,
I
bitch.
don't I don't like you anymore, but I do like you. But I don't like you. Like that's why I was just like, what the fuck? That's why I kept hitting Elise like, Elise, what the hell? She said, oh, it ain't done. Keep
Mhm.
going. Like,
Okay, baby. You can go deep
yeah,
into the forest.
right,
You ain't no blessing.
Mhm.
right. That part, that part.
So don't let them the way it enters, the way this starts. Dum,
Mhm.
dum, 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 dum. You hear that behind the dum, 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 and then the drums. Mm, boom.
Thank you.
And I'm like,
That part right there, the
mhm,
humming is
mhm,
another part of that record. And
yes.
I was like, what the fuck?
Mhm,
And with them drop, doom, doom,
yeah. Every,
doom. I was
every
like, what the?
every element, every element was it added something to get to you emotionally, so it evoked an emotional reaction from the listener.
Yep.
And the way the song ends, doom, 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 and brings you down,
Yes.
and fades off. I'm like, shit. Like, can it get better than this? Because I was talking about, I didn't want time to tell the end. Then when Don't Let Them ends, I'm like, you can't. Where can you go after this? And where do you go? Now, Free It Out. This is my favorite and most
Yep.
played song from the album. The
Mine too.
beat, the lyrics, the vocal delivery, the fucking layering of the vocals, the
Ooh.
backgrounds, bananas. This is and I won't say this is an album highlight because the album to me is a fucking highlight. But
Yes.
Yeah,
this
the album
three
is a highlight
song,
reel.
Yeah.
this whole entire album is a highlight reel. But this 3 song stretch is by
Woo.
far my favorite. This is
Yes.
this is the gut punch. This is the
Finish
gut punch.
him.
This is what sold the album. This is what sold the album to me in terms of I'm going to be an advocate for this project forever. Forever. Like the Sandlot. Forever.
You're killing me.
This record is so damn funky, yo. Like it's a funky ass record. And you know what I was thinking about after listening, hearing this? I was thinking of De La Soul. It's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that, and I was like, the drums are crazy on this, and it's like you're entering like a Twilight Zone, and then it's giving you again the new territory theme. The theme is
Mm-hmm.
still there, right? And then it comes in with the synthesizers, and then the drums come in, and then
Yeah.
after that comes in, then what's her name comes in? What's her name? Serena.
Serena.
That's her name, right? Serena comes in with her vocals, man, and
Oh.
it was just like this is touching your spirit with her vocals for real. Like
It's a
when
song
she's like,
on this.
what?
Mhm.
Mm.
Everything Serena on here, like,
Mhm.
put it in a package and put a bow on it because I want it. Like, yeah, like my favorite songs on here all are with Serena on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And then
she
it's
just
a message in this though.
Mhm.
Like they like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it basically telling you to let your feelings out and never hold them. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And it's like, I know it's my time to speak what I feel. That's
Yes.
me. Like I was like, when I heard that, I was like, fuck, are they talking to me? Like I'm like, yo, like speak your mind, free it out, love it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I did not want now this song I did not want to end
Uh-huh.
at
So
all. At all.
the lyrics insane. The delivery. Oh my fucking goodness.
Mm, mm,
Oh my
mm.
god. I'm twisting down this, it makes no sense. Are we all just sit together? When you didn't comprehend, I must make sure that you are for me. It's so crucial to get where I'm going. I did something on my mind. I got to free it. Got to free it out, yeah. And yo, okay, so think about how the song comes in. We were talking about how Don't Let Them begins, right?
Yes.
How
yes.
Free It Out starts. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah.
Damn synthesizers.
Then the drum. Doom, 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 doom. To free it out. Doom, doom. Free it out. And then the shit starts. Then it starts. You're already on board before you even hear a single lyric. Like, that is masterful. Like, how do I get the person, the listener, to be like, oh, you got me, before they even hear a lyric?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. When he made this album New Territory, that was the smartest shit he could have done to me. Because it's like, yo, you're in a new territory with every song, but it fits. The theme is still there. Like, he got you musically already on this. It's like, it can't get no better than this. Then you get lyrically what you talking about. So again, it's touching you lyrically, touching you musically. It's like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just like, yo, I was like, and like y'all said that, because before we came on here, I was like, at least, I was like, I got like 3 favorite songs or whatever. She was like, oh, you talking about that 3-track run? And we said it at the same time. We said it at the same time, and she was like, oh yes, oh yes. Like,
absolutely. So we've talked about this. The songs are short, but it promotes replay factor. You can play individual songs over and over, but for a listen, let it run. But you're gonna go back and play individual songs, I believe, again and again and again. And I think this is a song album you can just let play over and over and over and leave it alone. You could do multiple things, but this keeps you from ever getting bored or annoyed. There's so many changes. There's so much going on in the song that second, third listens, you're catching shit you didn't catch the first time, the second time. Wait, I ain't even catch them backgrounds. Yo, that bass was there? Oh, I didn't realize that the bass switched ears. Yo, what was playing behind the doom, doom, doom? There's something else going on. There's a bottom. Like, multiple listens, you'll find more and more that, oh, yo, this album's even crazier than I thought it was.
And you get wind chimes.
Wind chimes. Wind chimes. And you realize that Eric Lau is using a different approach for each singer. They're singing in different registers. They're doing what's comfortable for them, but they're following the same idea, right? They're following the same concept, even if the songs are thematically different. But there are songs where women are just destroying men, going in on them, and also confessing that, hey, I ain't shit, but I have to do what I have to do. And you do not feel a way about it. And that is exemplified in the fact that after Free It Out, we get to Show Me. Rahel comes back. This song is bouncy. It's infectious. The lyrics are excellent. The song composition is top notch, right? The vocals are nuts. And have I said this enough about this particular album, an R&B album? The beat is hard. H-O-A-R-D.
Yeah.
You can't help but to rock to this record, like, at all. I wanted to ask Elise, do you feel, when I was first listening to this, I said I could see Erica on a record like this?
Actually, who I would want on this record, and I agree, and it's gonna be musical sisters, Yazoo.
Yeah.
Yazoo. Like, I get that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's big Yazoo energy.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, no argument over here.
Yeah.
No argument over here.
Because I was kind of nervous. I was like, ooh, I was
What's
gonna
she
ask
gonna
Elise,
say?
and she did hear Erica on it, and I thought Elise was gonna be like, oh no, I don't see her. I was like,
That's the
oh,
broad answer, but Yazoo, that's the specific answer.
oh
Miss
yes,
Purple St.
y'all are
James?
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Absolutely.
she can eat that joy. Oh yes.
I mean, she eat anything. Anything on the plate, she gonna eat it. But yeah, but definitely is. I says bad.
But yes. But yeah, this joint is a jam. And then it was like, again, it gives musically, it gives you another vulnerability at like the 2 minute point, 2 minute, like 20 seconds. Again, it's like a vulnerable part. It's like a slow vibe, and then the drum comes in. Like it's just the vulnerability I like. It's like it pulls me in, you know what I mean? And it's just like, God damn. And then like y'all said, it's 40 minutes. And we
Yes.
on track 9.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's like, y'all, we still got another 4 songs. And it's
Mhm.
only 40 minutes. I'm like, what the?
Yes. Yeah.
It made you want
So
more and more. And that's why I see how Dar goes so hard for this album. Because you
mhm,
want more. Like, you like,
mhm,
what the
mhm.
fuck?
And I think Eric Lau was like, all right, I've given you a lot in terms of emotion, in terms of feeling, in terms of, I just came off this joint is hard, right? So he's like, I need to change the pace over here. So let it out. Ooh, let it out. Turn away. Turn it out. And it's like, yo, I usually switch out vocalists, but I'm gonna let Rahel rock with this
And
one.
yeah.
And it's like, just let it out. Just turn away. And she showcases why she's the MVP of the album with this joint. And you're like, yo, after the joint I just heard, I needed this. I needed this.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna give me some Dave's hot chicken. I need some fucking coleslaw. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's how I feel. Just let it out. And okay, so feeling wise, right? And this is crazy because 16 years ago when this album came out, I didn't have any thoughts about how this album was going to affect future R&B in UK, because I thought the UK R&B was already out of there and gone. But when I listen to this album, I think about the through line from Young Turks, from XL Records, you know, what they did on Warp. And I immediately think about what happens with like Children of Zeus, but also what happens with Salt. You know? Like I think about listening to the song, I'm like, yo, I get a Cleo Soul and Inflow kind of vibe. And also, I don't know if y'all familiar with French Kiwi Juice, FKJ. I get all of that. Yes, FKJ. Get into FKJ's music. You will be like, yo, I slept. But all of that comes, I feel like all that through line happens from songs like this on Eric Lau's first album. Even though I think all that would have happened anyway, because we're already heading that direction. With all like the UK singers. I'm not talking about like Rainy Milo, Leanne LaHavis. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna happen anyway. Just where Sampha, it was gonna happen anyway. All right. I want to make. I don't think that people heard this album was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do next. Shit was gonna happen anyway. Yeah. I'm saying it again. Now, from Let It Out, we get to Begin, which is a mind fuck in my opinion, because we got 3 vocalists. And if y'all better than me, can you tell me when you noticed who was singing what and when they got switched out?
I did.
Because my dumb ass, the first couple times I heard it, I was like, wait, I know who that is. Oh, that's Serena.
Yep.
So who's Annabelle? Is that Annabelle? I was like, is this one person? Is this 2 people?
I thought it was one.
So, okay, so this song, I was like, are
Yeah,
people
I
doing
thought it was
backgrounds?
fun.
I was like, is it one person singing the main song and is everybody else doing and the other two doing backgrounds, or are they switching out? And dude, this fucked me up. But Begin is nuts because it's continuing the theme from the previous song, where it's
Yeah.
like when you think about the soul albums and how it's like it's an ensemble type, but you know, you have a main voice, but also you still like it doesn't matter what you do, what direction you go in. It's like capoeira, bitch. All you gotta do is keep this shit. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you keep this rhythm. That's all you need to do, motherfucker. Just don't fuck it up. Can you stay in there? The jingle. Can you keep it this? Ha! Put your leg up. Ha! Flip around. Go backwards. As long as you come back to this, we good. And that's what this album feels like, especially with going from like Let It Out to Begin.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And in the background,
Moving forward,
Yeah.
forward.
oh, that shit. And I was like, is this a party right now? Because
Yeah.
you know, Let It Out was like, okay, yeah. And then Begin was like, oh no. When that shit opens, it was like, oh no, this is a legit party. They done opened up the floor for the dancers in the living room. They moving furniture. And I was like, oh,
report to
Eric,
the dance floor.
Eric, you motherfucker, but also you genius. But how can you do this? And dude, at least JR, we still 30 something minutes into this album. How am I going through all these emotions? How am I going through all these feelings? How have I gone through this entire ride? And this shit, an episode of like a house is half over. Like this shit is nuts that I've gone through all of these emotions, all these feelings. I've found songs that change that I'm gonna be talking about forever. And this album ain't even over yet. This shit ain't even over yet.
Nope.
Just how the joint, just like you said, I'm a dancer, so I want to get on the dance floor, right? And how he starts it, ding. I'm like, oh shit! I was like, okay, with my cup to the floor.
Like, that ain't what you thought. That what you thought was gonna happen.
Right, and because I'm like, wait a minute, where we going with this? And it was just like, I was like, oh shit! Like, y'all, this sucks that I was listening to this album at work. So it sucked because I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. Because I was like, yo, what is he doing? Like, I was just so gone with it. Because I was like, musically, he was just taking you all around the bend. But again, he's sticking with the theme of new territories. He's sticking there. He was like, we're in this world and I'm taking you here and taking you there, but I'm keeping you, you know, in the same place, but it's just different. I can't explain. Yeah. But again, this joint is this is another favorite for me because how it started. It just threw me off. Like I was like, all right, he going this way. Okay, maybe this is gonna be something slow. He said, not so fast. Not so fast. And when he did, I was like, and like you said, yo, now we got 3 songs left, yo. 3 songs left. Well, 2. We got 2 songs left. And I'm like,
what else can you do?
I've got to be longer than this. Like, I need more.
Yes. But also, what else can you do? What else can you do to us? What else can you do to us? Like, how, like, when we're talking about Begin, you brought up an excellent point, JR. You think it's going to be slow, and then this motherfucker throw a screwball, and no, this is a bouncy dance track. And the vocals, and it's like, again, when I opened up, I talk about, I don't know how many people, like, is that 3 people together? in unison doing that shit, that's nuts. Vocal arrangement, crazy if so. And then it's like moving for da da da. So it's all three of them going together. Like, who arranged this shit and who thought this up? First of all, mad genius, evil genius. Also,
Not evil.
I'm mad because I know people that work at Berklee College of Music that teach vocals and like vocal layering and also, you know, vocal arrangement. And I would take this to them and be like, yo, explain this shit to me, please. Explain this shit to me, please. I lecture at this school sometimes. I come as a guest from people that you know teach classes, and I need to be explained how this shit happened. You tell me because you know better. This is what you do. This is your area of expertise. I'm a listener. I feel like they fucking with me.
Yeah.
They fucking with me right now. So, and it's been 16 years and I still kind of feel that same way. Like, you know, when you see a magic trick and you're like, oh, that's dope, because I don't know how it happened. At the same time, how the fuck you do that?
Yep.
Yes, same thing.
And it's called blending, people. They blended very well. Blending. You know, people don't know that these days. You know how they do online with these girls that they think can blend and can't.
Together.
Yes. And these girls blended. That's why you think it's one person. Because they blended so well. You like, is it one? Oh no, it's three of them. Oh shit. Like, okay. And that's why the blends is so dope. You know what I mean? Like you said, the vocal arranging. I was just sitting there like, how the fuck can this happen? Like, how are you putting this with this, and it's blended so well on this beat? Mind you, this is a beat you're supposed to be like really focused on dancing with, and I'm trying to focus on how the hell these vocal arrangements is happening. Like,
and bring it back to me listening to this on an iPod Nano with over-the-ear headphones. Like, and I'm in the room with other people, but I'm still looking around. The fuck is the matter with me? My brother was looking at me like, yo, you good? I was like, come here, bro. And I start playing the song for him, and he's listening, and my brother, producer, has the crazy ear, the ear I didn't get. God does not make mistakes. When he said, hey, you're going to be the one that loves digging for records and finding all the stuff, but you're going to want to be a DJ, but I'm going to give you a brother who has all the talent that you don't have, and all the skills you don't have, but all the shit you want to do, like, you want to hook up equipment, this motherfucker knows how everything works. He could just make beats without looking at the you know, the, what you call it, the instruction manual. That's my brother. My brother was like the type of person, like, you know, when Dilla's in the studio and he says, one baby hair left. That's the kind of person my brother is, right? And as much as I love music, as much as I know about music, God was like, I'm going to give you him. So we would just be in the room all day, just like listening to different songs and stuff like that. And I'm like, do you hear that? Do you hear that? You know what's happening here? And like people just walking in, like, because our house, 487 Mass Ave, they called it the studio at 487 because we were just in there just doing mad scientist shit. But I say that to say, I played this for my brother, let my brother listen to this, and he had the same reaction I did, which made me feel like, you're not crazy. You are not alone. I am here with you, Michael Jackson. Now, to stop talking about that, talk about how far all of the shit we've been saying, I was saying about Begin, we were talking about Begin. We can spend that time on how far it is catchy, it's reminiscent of, I mentioned them, French kiwi juice is music, and I was just like, yo, how many bouncy, catchy, infectious ass songs are you gonna give us, Eric? And you're gonna throw another curveball at us, ain't you? Because it's about damn time you throw another curveball at us. Because we ain't had a curveball in a minute. And then we get to the last 40 seconds of how far.
I wasn't clear.
you.
I was like, what is going on here?
You should have knew something wild was gonna happen because the whole beginning you hear all the space Star
Mhm.
Wars noises.
Mhm.
Yes.
You should have known.
How
That's
far I have to go? There's nobody there to go. But it's a thing for disbelief and don't. How far do you have to go? There's somebody there to know. There's somebody with disbelief
yeah.
in.
Yes.
And like you said,
That's a
it is
bar.
so yeah,
That's a
it's
bar.
so catchy, and it's one of the songs that I run back a few
Mhm.
times
Mhm.
because of the catchiness of it. It's like that felt
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
And then there's the vocal. And like you like, yo, when did you think I'm gonna do this? Were you in the studio listening to it back? I was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck their heads up. I'm gonna put this in there. Or did you know when you heard all that shit? You were like, oh, is there gonna be a part in here where I fuck everybody's head up?
And slow
And
this shit down.
Eric was like, okay, yeah, go ahead, do that. Go ahead, do that. Fuck it, fuck everybody's heads up. Because I'm doing that with this entire album, girl. You
And
just do
what
what you
right.
do. That's the theme of the album. Fuck
Yeah.
their heads up.
Yep.
Oh man. But the last 40 seconds,
Yeah.
I was
It's
punching.
special.
Yes, I was punching the floor. I was just like, you can't keep getting away with it. Oh God. Yo, by the time we get past how far, by the time we get to the song Hope, Eric Lau has gathered all 5 Infinity Stones and he has them on his gauntlet. And by the time we get to Hope, all this motherfucker gotta do is snap. Because on Hope, he brings back Meshack Brown. And it
And do.
bookends, yes, thematically, at least, this bookends Don't Let Them. And it serves as a close to not only side B, but the album and this entire stretch
The
coming from
whole
after.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
whole thing. Thank you,
My
dog.
God.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
You have a
I was
nice
like, this is a closer, like for real. The whole project. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, now this is how you close the album.
you get a nice resolution, a denouement, like wrap it up. We got this.
Mhm.
You're
And it
welcome.
gives you hope. Like it
Mhm.
does. Like you leave hopeful after listening to this joint and brings it
Mhm.
all to, man. My first time listening to this, I was like, that's it? No.
That's
Like,
it.
no. Right. Is that the end? Right. Like,
Mhm. Is that the
right.
end?
I wanted the Janet part to come up in the video, but she like, no, and start like dancing and some shit. I'm like, we gonna get something else. But again, if this is how he closing it, he damn sure closed it right. Cause it was just
Mhm.
like, it just brought everything together at the end for me. And I was just like, run it back. I
Mhm.
was like,
Yes.
run it back.
Yes.
This shit was crazy. I was like, oh my God, yeah. Woo, to end it with that, like I said, it gives you hope at the end. It makes you very hopeful because you got a lot of gems and things. I'm calling it how far got
Mhm.
some bars in it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You got free it out for sure.
Yes.
It's like giving you like inspiration, yo. So for me, it
Mhm.
was inspirational. Like you said, the vulnerability of it all. Musically, it was great. And then you just end it with a song like this just to give you a little hope to go be like, all right, everything will be all right. You go out in the world, you conquer, you good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yes, great song to end off. Great.
Another note for this album is there was a piece I was going to do in a book that didn't ever get made where I was going to talk about the music of the Obama era and how we had the rising downs, we had the new Americas, we had atmosphere. If you give lemons, paint that shit gold. We had all these albums that were made both in R&B, soul, and rap that were encompassing the changing times that we were coming into. And this album, New Territories, I feel is also in that category of those type of albums where it's like, we're coming out of this era into this new era. You know, things are going to change over. We're going to have the opportunity to change things around and move stuff. Because you think about Georgia and Muldrow made the song Mr. President for a reason. But Erykah Badu made Master Teacher for another reason. With her. Yes. And I was like, people in the know understood why those songs were made and the era these albums would be made in. They understood why Rising Down had the cover it did, you know? So we understood why, like, Common Market, which is an independent like rap group that a lot of people completely slept on, made the albums that they made during the time they did. They were all talking about what was happening. And this album, New Territories, falls right into that. So when we get to the outro, as I said, the welcome is the front cover of the book. The outro is the back cover of the book. And the album is the binding, the thread, the glue, the print, all that stuff, the way it smells. Then you close that motherfucker, and it is melodic, vibey. The drums are smacking. They're smacking like a villainess in a telenovela. This is driving bass, hand claps. And unleash the flutes, guru.
I was about to say, the flutes, he brought them back.
Yep. And it was just like how it is in heaven, as it is below, so it is above. Like, this album was like, I have a theme, so I'm sticking to the theme. And God damn it, we gonna execute. All right? In life, you can't be perfect on this album. God damn it, we can try to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You drop my football, run a mile.
I think it is perfect.
Yes. So the outro, and now I think about the timeline of UK music when I was growing up. Central Line, Junior Giscombe, Sade, I Level, all the UK synth pop groups that we remember on Black Radio, you know, Level 42, fucking Human League, everybody. I remember Boy George being Culture Club being played on Black Radio. I remember like Thompson Twins used to get played on Black Radio. You know, The Police got played on Black Radio.
The irony of that,
Yep, 5 Star, 52nd Street, the Pasadenas. And then we come into like 89, we talking about Nana Cherry, Soul to Soul, Misha Paris.
Mika, oh, yes, Lord.
Mika Pat, oh my God. Yes.
So I think about all that. And so when I get an album like this, I think about UK and British soul is not a new phenomenon to us, the audience. However, British soul had changed dramatically in the zeros going forward. And this is one of the landmark UK British soul albums, I feel. And I think this is very overlooked. And I think Eric Lau's career, even though like people in the know, think he's dope. But like, I think this album is really overlooked 15 plus years after the fact, right? When you look at the timeline of fucking acid jazz and, all the stuff that they did going from the late 80s, early 90s on to like when we understood Brownswood Bubblers and Young Turks, Warp, XL, all the like labels that tried to get all the young UK talent, which were pretty much jumping ship and putting out this stuff through SoundCloud anyway. They were like, we're going to find our audience. We're going to go to Bandcamp. We're going to go to SoundCloud. We're going to go straight to Twitter. We're going to go straight to Tumblr. We're going to find our audience. And they did. And they changed the music forever. Like Leanne LaHavis and I think about all the stuff that happened from that era I talked about previously and think about now, right? How many British singers, like 10 years ago, we were FKA Twigs and Jessie Ware and, all of them were just like Rainy Milo, were all like getting it in. This is when sample became a sensation. You had MNEK, there were so many people back then. And then I just look at the state of UK British. Yes, yes. And I look at the state of British soul now, and I'm like, this is all on the same timeline. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna close. This is easily one of my favorite albums of the Zeros. I think it's a landmark R&B album of the late Zeros, and I love talking about this damn record. And it's so short that it has high replay factor. And I've had it on every iTunes I've had it on every handheld device I've had, every phone I've had where I could put in headphones.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on this shit. Yeah, and like JR, you probably unwittingly have heard a lot of this album because it's about 4-5 songs on every playlist that I make. That any kind of groove type situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you be listening to my playlist at work. So I'm sure you inadvertently had
Probably
been
did
in this album for a minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I just put your playlist on and I just work. So it's just like, so I'm just grooving, you know what I'm saying? So I probably did hear a couple of these joints from you, for real, for real. And the playlist it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like the grooves and all that, it makes sense perfectly.
That's my music taste to a T. Like that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we are gonna hop into the word. It's gonna be Word Artists Association, and I have some producery people that give me the same feeling inside that Eric Lau that this album gives to me. And you just when I give you the producer's name, producer/singer, just first thought, memory, whatever comes to mind. All
Sounds good.
All right. So we're gonna start it off with Tall Black Guy.
I first got a Tall Black Guy, of course, through the blog Poisonous Paragraphs and later Bastard Swordsman, all that. There's a project that he has that I feel was the culmination of all the things that he was doing and trying to get together. Is it 6 Miles to Monarch? I think that's the title. But
I'll
that was like, okay, I've done a lot of stuff in my career. I've made beats, I've done this, I've been recognized for this, but this is me fully realizing
that's correct.
A concept. 6 Miles Monarch?
No, 8 miles.
8 miles Monarch. Thank you. 8 miles Monarch. This is me fully realizing an idea or a concept that I had that maybe I didn't know exactly how to execute it at first, but throughout my career so far, I'm going to get, I'll get there. So when I think about Tall Black Guy, I think about his entire career coming from, oh, he just makes beats, or he's a beat maker, or he's a producer now, or he can do this, or, oh, he can DJ? Wait, he can write songs? And I just think about that entire progression of his career and him being able to get it out on wax or in an LP or an EP. And then from there, it was like, oh, this motherfucker could do anything. So when I think about Tall Black Guy, I think about his entire career arc and how I was just there and marveling at all of it.
Right. Next one. Illa J.
So, Illa J. I was introduced to Illa J through Black Milk, Hex Murder, and House Shoes. And the very first thing that was sent to me, was a song he made called I'm Not Gonna Die, where he sampled the song, I Don't Wanna Die. From Black Murder. Damn. And it was kind of a response to my brother passed away and everybody's talking about how I look like him and how I remind them of him and how I told my brother I was going to sing. My brother wanted me to sing. But now here I'm being pulled into rapping. And I remember this song because it was like, I know that y'all want me to go in the direction of Black Milk. I know y'all want me to go in the direction of this person or that person, but I'm just letting y'all know that I'm doing this because I love the music. I love soul. I love singing. And I'm doing this in the name of my brother. So I'm not gonna die. Was kind of like, I'm here. I know he's gone. I can't be him, but I'm here. And my music and our legacy, the Yancey family legacy is going to live on through me. And that song gave me goosebumps. And I don't know if it's even fucking available to find. I can't tell you that I went looking on YouTube or I went looking on SoundCloud for it. But I remember that song being sent to me. I don't even know how available it was. But I remember when that shit got sent to me, I was just like, oh, okay. And then I remember Ella J, the Yancey Boys album, and people would send me stuff with him singing. And then the other thing that just like sends chills through me is when they did the live performance of Ella J of Dilla's music, that live performance, and they captured it on a DVD. And Fall in Love, everybody's singing Fall in Love, and they have him come out and sing. Don't set yourself to fall in love. And he goes, 1, 2. Like that. And the thing was that people were just like pushing him towards the mic, like, you know, like Frank and Dank and House Shoes. They're like, go to the mic, sing, because we need you to do this. And he's like, you know, the mic's calling you. So when I think about Ella J, that's what I think about. I think about how people are like, hey, yo, you need to check this dude out. And all that stuff and all the expectations put on him, and he made his own mark and had his own career. So that's what I think about when I think about Ella J.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next we have Beat Child, formerly known Slocker the Beat Child.
Oh, yo.
Catch me.
Thank you. Oh my God. So Slacker the Beat Child, I was introduced to my friends from Toronto, from Canada. And he did an early album with this dude, Rozelle. And he also worked with Drake early on. And he used to make these ill-ass instrumentals. And I felt like nobody was catching on to what this dude was doing. He was bananas. It was melodic. It was soulful. There was a lot of instrumentation, a lot of layering. He was using found things to make beats with. Like, he wasn't like, I'm going to use a clave. He was going, I'm going to make a cymbal. I'm going to make a cymbal sound. And he was just so inventive, and it was so infectious. The music he was making, it came like straight from the heart. And like, again, Slacker the Beat Child just comes from, you know, being young and just creating and making music. And I just feel like he never really got the recognition he deserved, or the reach that he should have had. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was making music in an era in Toronto before the explosion that, you know, Drake and the OVOs created. So there was a big awareness of all the music out there. I think he was maybe 3 to 5 years ahead of his time. But Slacker the Beat Child was dope, so dope. This was nuts.
Man, that Beat Child is probably what I play the most, period, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going. It's always in the background. It's great. It really does feel like the Eric Lau. Like, it's the same.
Yes.
It's the same fabric. It's not the same outfit, but it's the same fabric, you know? So
yeah.
Yes. All right. Next we have Nicolay.
As you well know, I was introduced to Nicolay the same way all these other motherfuckers was. I was on OK Player. There was a time I was, y'all know, I was, the story, how did Dart get on OK Player? Dart used to lurk on OK Player from 1999 all the way to 2005. One day, somebody was talking shit about Boston. So what does Dart do? Dart makes an account. Poisonous Dart 75. He makes his account. He goes on. He tears that motherfucker a new asshole, completely eviscerates him. And after he left a pool of blood all over the OK Player boards, he realized, oh damn, I'm not invisible no more. People can see me. I might as well start commenting. So this is when I encounter Nicolay, Tay Gravy, This is when FWMJ, everybody. And so I first hear Nicolay's music. Like, again, I've told people this. I was on a documentary talking about this shit. The three groups that kind of embody my early days of OK Player are Strange Fruit Project, Little Brother, and Tanya Morgan, which is three dudes, not one woman. And the other one I would say would be the Foreign Exchange. Nicolay. Yep, exactly. Nicolay and Tay Gravy. And I first heard this dude's music, and also there was this thing that happened where, again, when you go online, you buy stuff online. There was this site, they had this thing called the Dutch Masters. There was a white CD that you had to buy, Nicolay, the Dutch Masters, Volume 1. I bought that shit so quick. And I did some Scott Pilgrim type shit in the movie where he orders from Amazon CA and then he sits by the door. Like, Scott, are you waiting for the delivery to come that you just ordered? You know? So when that shit finally came, I remember, I don't know how I got the plastic off. You know, I just got the plastic off and I popped that shit in. And again, my ever-present younger brother was there. He was like, "That's that Nicolay shit?" Yeah. And we listened to that like, "No, this shit is crazy."
Yeah.
Crazy. So, and I still have that CD and it's crazy because it kind of has a crack in it. And I never replaced the cover because I was just like, I remember why the crack happened because we were playing it so much that we had it on the couch and I sat down and I get up immediately. I'm like, oh shit, I sat on my Nicolay CD. Is it okay? Is it okay? The CD's fine. The case, I got up so fast that it didn't crack all the way. Because I realized immediately I had fucked up. So that's my memory of Nicolay. Hearing his music via OK Player and then ordering the Dutch Masters Volume 1 and being blown away by it.
All right. And last but not least, Odyssey.
I'm not a smiley person, but this immediately like harkens back to a different time when, yes, just like how I discovered I was introduced to Nicolay, I was introduced to Odyssey in a roundabout way. There was an album released on BBE by Jazzy Jeff, and it was The Magnificent. And he had a whole bunch of different people on his label. And one of them was a young Odyssey. And he produced, there was Odyssey, Kenwood, you know, like all these other people. And eventually what happened was he made a deal with Half Tooth Records. Google it. And he made he started making instrumental projects. And again, the same site that I went to, Sandbox Automatic, where I bought Nicolay's CD, I started buying Odyssey's instrumental projects. And I was like, how long does this shit take to ship? They should send emails telling you when they ship something. I'm supposed to sit here just imagine through telepathy when the shit's in the mail. So it was like one of those little things when you're a little kid, you go to the mailbox every day to see if it came. You know, East Bay catalog. Oh no, I like these. Slam magazine. No, wait, I like Slam magazine. You know, Electronic Gaming Monthly. Why am I yelling? I like these things, but it's not what I want. You know. So it came, and I had a bunch of Odyssey instrumental albums, Half Tooth, and then like the other stuff that he had out. And then eventually, what happened was Odyssey signed with this label, Mellow Music Group, and he became like the flagship artist. And I was writing a lot about Odyssey's music, and that's how we actually became boys. We became friends. And the wild thing was that FWMJ, who knows everybody, knew him. He was like, yo. And then in 2010, there was a blogger conference. And they were like, so FWMJ, you're going to come down. It's going to be Dallas Penn. It's going to be Mecca from Two Dope Boys. It's going to be this person. And he immediately said, you ain't going to have Dart Adams there? yo, you fucking up. You're not gonna have Dart Adams there. And he was like, am I? So he asked Dallas Penn, Mecca, and everybody else was like, yo, get Dart there. And Odyssey was also on the panel. Odyssey was like, yo, bring Dart. And he told them, he's like, I'm bringing Danny Brown and Dart Adams. Everybody was like, bring him. I first met Odyssey face to face in DC at Busboys and Poets at this panel. And my God, it was one of great time, great conversation. We kicked it with Odyssey at his house. Danny Brown made a song called Kirby with Odyssey. And they gave it to me as an exclusive on Producers I Know. I released it and then deleted it because what happened was Danny Brown used the same verse on Black and Brown with Black Milk. But me and Odyssey stayed close. Whenever Odyssey had a show in town, Odyssey's entire band were my people. His entire band, DJ Unknown, John Lane, the drummer, homie he had singing from everybody was my people. It was crazy because at the same time, so there was a time when Odyssey and Black Milk both had bands and toured. And I was friends with everybody. And I was like, y'all need to do a tour together. And it started this whole thing online. But yeah, I had one of the greatest all-time interviews with Odyssey about music, about production, about life. And that shit got deleted. So Odyssey, I was there for a lot of his musical career, his time before he was on Mellow Music Group, all his stuff on Mellow Music Group. I was there when the Diamond District, I was one of the first people to push the Diamond District. Streets won't let me chill. My God.
That Diamond District album, the way I read that shit, oh God. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like that shit was like a DC supergroup too. It was like a DMV supergroup.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that album was fucking insane. And the thing was that they released it 3 times, right? They had the free version, then they had the version that you could buy, and it had all the bells and whistles on it. And I remember like the free version, I thought, they can't get better than this. And it was like, oh, we left shit out. I'm like, what? So Odyssey, yeah. I could go on and on.
Yeah. I think the first Diamond District song was the title track, the In the Rough. That was the first song that I heard by them. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. That might have been one of my favorite word associations ever.
Mine as well. Oh my God.
I gotta tell you, there's one person who I, as a producer, making like funk, soul, R&B, and rap production, that was down with Odyssey and all the other cats, and low budget, who I feel doesn't get enough credit and respect. There's DJ Roddy Rod. Although his music doesn't have a similar feel to Eric Lau's, that dude was easily one of the best. Cuba Aftermarket Volume 1 and 2 are also albums that I could come on here and talk about the same way I talk about Eric Lau's New Territories. And absolutely. But all those people that we talked about, shit, like they're all up there for me, like all of them. In terms of like how the music hits you. If music has to hit you in a place where you have a visceral emotional reaction, otherwise, how else will you be invested in it? You know, like what makes you dance? What makes you notice it? What makes you immediately start to Shazam some shit? You know, if that doesn't happen, then indifference is the worst thing that can happen in art. Indifference is the worst thing that can happen in art. Whether we're talking about someone speaking, writing, a song, you have to be like, oh shit, what is this? What is this? Who is this? I need to find out now. I need to find out what the song is. How can I hear it? Is there more?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So yeah, Dart, do you have anything going on or any Martine, the last
Right.
we need
Right.
the
I just
final.
fell off this goddamn chair.
This
I came
this
off
is
three
your
business
final
meetings today.
chance.
Yeah, I came off 3 business meetings today. Oh
Just
my
free it
God.
out, man. Free it out. Free it out.
So free it out.
Really, y'all.
So I'm gonna be in an upcoming docuseries about the Boston Celtics on Max. When it starts, I don't know. I filmed my last parts when the Celtics won the championship. I had reactions after the game, so I had a reaction to games 1, 2, 3, and 5. Those are the games they won. And that was my last piece, but I did 2 separate segments, me and Howard Bryant, for the Celtics docuseries. I just got word about when I'm going to meet up for the next Red Sox docuseries. So I'm gonna go think Fenway or somewhere. I'm gonna talk to the people. I'm gonna be in that one when that comes out, likely 2025. I'm gonna be in another documentary. It's about the Boston mayoral race. I heard it's going to it's got picked up by PBS, so likely it's going to air at the end of 2024. I'm thinking around election time, November, going into December. Um, my clothing apparel brand of Boston Legends / Mathematic Athletics. We're doing a lot right now. We're doing this thing called the Neighborhood Campaign. The shorts say South End on them because I'm from the South End, Lower Roxbury. We're doing neighborhoods, but the thing about Boston is that every neighborhood doesn't have the same identity. So we're doing like, towns also, because nobody give a fuck about the theater district. Theater district don't want shorts. The Bay Village don't want no damn shorts. Dorchester does. You know, like Somerville's gonna want some shorts. Newton's gonna want some shorts. Alston's gonna want some shorts. Milton's gonna want some shorts. You know who don't care? The Fenway, Kenmore neighborhood. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. So, like, that's how you have to think about it, right? Like, yeah, Boston has 23 neighborhoods. Not all those neighborhoods are like the West End. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But the West End exists. You just gotta be real. So I'm doing a lot in terms of clothing. I'm hoping to fact check some books. Some people have books coming out that are about rap. And if they don't send me these fucking books to fact check, if they come out and they're wrong, I'm gonna say you fucked up by not sending that shit to me and pay me my fee so I can avoid having people tell you a new asshole about these rap books about prominent artists that people love.
Well,
now, come on.
So yeah,
With wrong dates and stuff.
Yep.
Dates and people and stuff. Yeah. So I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of stuff in Boston in terms of there's this thing we have happening. So as you know, in 2026 is going to be the 250th anniversary of America, and they have this 250 thing campaign happening for America's anniversary. But in Boston, we're doing this thing called Everyone 250, where we're going to highlight Boston neighborhoods and towns and stuff like that, and different things that don't get highlighted, like Black, Latino, Asian history, also indigenous Massachusetts history that gets overshadowed. So when people make the trip to Boston, you think they're going to get all this, the spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. No, you're going to learn about Roxbury, you're going to learn about South End, you're going to learn about West End, you're going to learn about Black folks in the North End, you're going to learn about the Latino experience in Boston and Massachusetts as a whole. You're going to learn about all these things that you don't get to see in Boston movies. So that's what I'm really working on right now. And I actually had a chair. I'm chair of a committee, which is nuts to me to say. But I'm going to turn 49 this summer. So it isn't, because I should have been doing it already. But also the fact that, like, I go to a panel or something and people are like, oh, Dart Adams, a historian. I'm like, who the fuck they talking about?
you nigga.
He's done this, he's archivist for this. I'm like, who are they talking about? And everybody's like, you dumbass, that's
Your
why you're on the
ass.
stage. I know you dress like a fuck boy, but everybody else got a suit.
I knew would come in there with some Jesus sneakers though. Like,
Yo, I will have on some joggers and some Adidas
yeah.
and a hoodie from my company and everybody else will be dressed like they just came off of college. Oh, last thing I did too, which I'm very proud of. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about is I got the opportunity to co-teach. Well, y'all already know, I teach classes for Pendulum Inc. hip hop classes. I've taught two. The first one was the evolution of the classic rap album, and the last one I did was the evolution of the diss track, which was a fun time for me. But the class that I did, I'm really proud of. I co-taught an online course about the history of Black music and the valuation of Black music, the timeline of the valuation of Black music in America. I'm very proud of that. I did that for Northeastern University. And I want to do more stuff like that. So I'm hoping to keep this relationship with Northeastern, keep my relationship with Berklee College of Music open. And also, Harvard finally comes to their goddamn senses. So that's pretty much what I'm hoping.
Yes. Well, we appreciate that. We missed you, and we glad we
Yeah.
yeah.
I missed y'all. I've been so busy that I gotta tear myself away from meetings and stuff in order to just like be there on a Sunday when y'all breaking down stuff. Because I missed a lot of those joints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, damn, we look at it, we like, Dart is so busy. Like, you can say, it's like, damn, when does he get a chance to
Then we be in
chill?
the live chat, he show up. I'm like, I know him.
Right, I'll be like, Dart, like, oh shit.
I can't tell you how many panels I did on Sundays, and I was just like, God damn it! Right now, I'm missing them talk about so and so's album, and I can't make jokes in the chat. Damn.
Right, right.
I will fuck up anything. We'll just make the right time joke in the chat. I'd be like, anybody else say it? Anybody else say it?
Right.
Send.
Yeah, the other day I said, you said something. I said, Tart, get out.
Oh, I remember what I said. I said that 90s albums were longer than Aretha Franklin's cleavage. That's what it was.
I was like, Elise, did you miss Dart? I was like, I did. But she was like, get out.
I meant that shit too, nah. But we appreciate it. You always welcome anytime to talk about whatever the fuck you want to. And yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, we thank everybody. We thank everybody who get to see Dart's antics and everybody else's antics in the live chat. Y'all fam.
Yes.
Love y'all, cousins. And bring us some more cousins. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell somebody you just met. I don't care. Just tell them that shit. This is your final chance to be on the right side. And I don't do this to hurt you, to upset you, none of that. But I would like to catch you on the next episode of Catch That.
That was perfect.
Right. I was like, how's she gonna